Hey guys, so today we're going to be doing a trying new makeup. I'm hesitating on calling it new because most of these, well, some of these are new. Most of these are new to me. So just to kind of briefly go over what I'm going to be talking about, a lot of the stuff I hauled in my last haul. So this like Estee Lauder Double Wear Radiant Concealer. I know this is new to Estee Lauder, but it's not like brand new to the market. But I haven't tried it yet. So I thought I would try it with you guys. The Lancome Absolute Powder, definitely not new, but new to me. And many of you were very, very curious about it. Many of you also were like, yes, that's the best powder ever. So I'm really, really excited to give that a shot. I have the Melt blush that I hauled in my last haul that I just got during the Sephora VIB sale. So I wanted to try this. And this eyeshadow palette, I'm really embarrassed to say that I purchased a long time ago and haven't even played with it yet. So this is the mini gold palette from Natasha Denona, still in the box, haven't even touched it. And then I have some of the new Le Rouge Duo Ultra Tenues from Chanel. I have the Intense Cherry and the Intense Blueberry, and I have them both here. I figured, I don't know, I'd either go with one or I can swatch both. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So that is it. That's what this video is going to be. I didn't have any new foundation, so I put on some of my Sisley Cushion foundation, and yeah, let's go from there. Let's jump into the Estee Lauder Double Wear Radiant Concealer. My good friend Natalie over at Flower Bomb 31 convinced me to get this. So I got it in the shade 1C Light Cool, and I think I mentioned this when I hauled this. I didn't think any of the shades were particularly cool. It's always hard to tell in like different lighting or whatever, but this one seemed the most neutral and doesn't seem cool at all to me. So this is what the color looks like in the bottle. This has one of those gigantic like Shape Tape doe foots. So that is the applicator. Let me just swatch it on the back of my hand so you can see the shade. So that's what cool looks like. And I don't think it's very cool at all. So anyway, I picked this color. Let's go ahead and apply some to my under eye. I just want to apply a little bit, just to see how much coverage we get. And I'm gonna use my finger and kind of tap that in. It's very sticky at the moment. Let's see if that kind of settles down a little. The coverage is nice. The coverage is nice, and it definitely doesn't look matte on my skin, so that is very nice. I don't like a really matte concealer. Well, I like how it looks with the finger, so I'm just gonna go ahead and blend this side in with the finger, and I think this shade is actually really good. It does like a slight brightening under my eyes, nothing too crazy, and I like a lighter concealer, a brightening under my eyes, so that works for me. All right, so I've been sitting here for just a couple of minutes. I wanted to see how this concealer settled, see if it kind of dried up a little bit. No, it actually seems still pretty tacky there, and it's not settling into my fine lines yet, which is great. So far, so good. And what I like to do with these trying new makeup videos is I will update you down below in the description box so you guys can take a look and see how all of these things wore. All right, so far, very happy with that concealer. Let's move on to powder. I'm really, really excited to try this powder. I've been wanting to for a very long time. And I have two shades, Absolute Pesh and Absolute Pearl. And I don't know which is the one that I want to use for setting. The color names I feel like just don't make any sense whatsoever. And which one is this one? So the Absolute Pearl looks peachier than the Absolute Pesh. It's very, very odd. And then one of these colors has a little bit more radiance to it, and so I wanted to use that for finishing and then use the one that had like a matter appearance for setting. Let's see, definitely this one. So the Absolute Pearl, which is very peachy looking, is the matte one. So I'm going to use this for setting, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my Chikuhodo Lunar New Year brush. This was a limited edition brush, but I'm just going to dip in. Just picked up a little bit, and I'm going to press that onto the eye area. And I'm just going to do one side of my face. I want to see if it like alters my foundation or just alters anything underneath color-wise and coverage-wise too. So I don't think it actually like changed the tone or the shade of my foundation, but I do feel like there's like just the slightest hint of more coverage, and I do feel like my skin looks a little bit more blurred out. I think that looks great. I think I can see why people are really, really raving about this powder. My skin looks really like smooth. Ooh, that's nice. That's really nice. And the finish of this powder is probably a little bit matter than I am used to. Like my Kogan Dough, I feel like has a little bit more of like a silky appearance. This is actually closer, I feel like, to the Chanel powder, the natural translucent loose powder from Chanel. It definitely like mattifies any shine, but it doesn't make my skin look dry, which is nice. There's still a little bit of like natural radiance kind of coming through. All right, let me just apply this to the rest of my face and then we can move on. Okay, I don't have any new bronzer, so I am going to forego bronzer today, which makes me a little bit uncomfortable, but we're gonna move on. I have the Melt Blush Light in Nevermore, and this is just such a gorgeous, gorgeous color. I cannot wait to get this onto my cheeks. And this formula, it's like a regular pressed powder, and it looks like it just blends beautifully. So I'm excited to give this a try. Let me take my Chikuhodo cheek brush. Ooh. Ooh. Wow, there's a lot of like highlighty goodness going on. I feel like you can see it more on my cheek than you can see on a swatch. Wow, this definitely takes care of blush and highlight. If you don't want to take the extra time to apply some highlight, you don't need to with this blush. This blush pretty much takes care of both. Wow, that is some shine. Okay. All right, well, I wanted to throw on this Anastasia Beverly Hills loose highlighter in Vegas. Not new at all, but I hauled this and I don't think I actually ever used this on camera for you guys. I know I used the other one, the Peach Fizz one. I use this as blush. I don't know that I need highlight. What am I saying? Whatever. Let's go ahead and apply this. All right, I'm going to take this Chikuhodo highlight brush and just kind of dip it in here. Oh, oh my. That on top of the blush is a very, very bright highlight. I feel like it took like 5 sprinkles of this to do that. I mean, how does anyone use up one entire jar of that? Let me stop admiring myself and move on to eyes. So I don't have anything new for eyebrows. I'm just gonna go ahead and do that off camera, and then we'll come back and use the Natasha Denona Mini Gold palette. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this Mini Gold palette. I almost forgot what this one looked like, but looks like there's a nice matte transition shade. There's a matte olive shade, satin kind of deep brown shade. This looks really pretty, and like 2 metallics here. This one is so interesting. This is like a duochrome, like brown to green, and then this one is a gold. Sorry. So let me go ahead and just start with the transition shade. I'm going to use my Sonia G Blender Pro brush. I'm just going to dip right in here. I think people got along with this mini palette. I know some people have not gotten along with all of her mini palettes, like the earlier ones that she came out with. And I tend to agree that the quality of those was a little bit subpar to her larger palettes, but this one and the Mini Nude palette I think people really liked, and again I agree, the Mini Nude was really, really nice. So hopefully this one will work out for me as well. I feel like I haven't used Natasha Denona shadows in a while. Yeah, this is definitely like one of her typical matte shadows. Really highly pigmented, and I feel like they take a little bit to blend. But once they do, you know, because they're so creamy, but once they do, they look so like perfectly blown out. They're really lovely. Okay, all right, so far so good. I definitely want to use this matte olive shade, so I'm just going to take the same brush. Let me kind of wipe off any of that first brown that I had on there. I'm gonna dip back in with the Blender Pro brush. I'm just gonna apply this all over my lid. Ooh, pretty. Oh, interesting. I feel like when you start to blend out the green, you start to see a lot of the like mustardy yellow underneath. And I know Natasha Denona has always said like her shadows kind of transition themselves, and I feel like I can really see it with this shadow. You know, it looks very olive green like down here, and then it just sort of like transitions into this like mustardy yellow. That's so interesting. Just taking a little bit more of that brown and just adding it back up here. I'm going to take my ESMG 34 brush. It's like a big fluffy blending brush, and it's clean. And I just want to go over the edges here. I feel like these shadows are a little like sticky, and I just want to make sure they're blended out. And now I feel like I lost some of the intensity of the green. So I'm just going to go back into the green, but I'm going to use my Builder Pro brush from Sonia G because I want to get that really nice and green along the lash line here. So I'm just using the tips of the brush. All right, well, that definitely took a little bit of work for me to kind of get it semi-blended. I mean, I think it looks okay. I think it looks okay, but that took a little bit of work to kind of get the green into the brown and to make sure like the top edge looks decent. It looks a little fucked up here. Hang on. I think it looks okay. I think it looks okay, but that did take a little bit of work. I do want to add some of these shimmery shades on there though. So I'm going to go in with the gold, and I think I'm just going to use my finger and apply it. Oh, her metallic shades are so creamy. So there's the gold. I'm going to apply this just to like the inner corner or inner portion of my lid. Wow. That's amazing. And of course I fat fingered it, and now I have gold all down here. I really don't know how people apply shadows with their fingers. Okay, a little bit of fallout, but there is the gold on the inner corners. Let me see. Yeah, I should probably blend that out a little bit. I'm just so curious about this shade down here. In the camera it looks green, in real life it looks brown, so I'm going to apply a little bit of that to the outer corner of my eye. I'm thinking maybe I should use a brush and not use my finger again. It's so bad. I'm going to use my Sonia G Builder 1 brush, which is great for these metallic, kind of hard to pick up kind of shades. And I'm just going to apply this to the outer. Oh, I have a lot of fallout from that. I like that. I think that kind of brought the look together. So I'm starting to understand this palette a little bit more. I think the mattes here are merely just like a backdrop to the shimmer shades. I really think that's what's going on here, because they do make a really nice backdrop to the metallic shades. I think on their own, they're just a little bit, I don't know, they're a little bit hard to work with, but they're also, I don't know, like they just, they don't play that well together, and I don't know. But I feel like all the colors work really well together now that I've like layered the metallics down. I don't know, it just seems to have come all together. So I'm gonna use this color as like a liner color. I'm gonna use the Sonia G Smudger 1 brush, go into the shade. And this shade, it's dark, it's satiny, but it's not quite as metallic as these two. And then I'm just gonna line my eyes with that darker color. All right, there is the eye look. I definitely like it a lot now that I put the metallics down. I just said all this, but I don't know, I kind of didn't like the mattes by themselves, but they do make a nice backdrop for those metallics. So that is the mini gold palette. I'm gonna go ahead and curl my eyelashes, and then we'll come back and put on some of this By Terry Lash Expert Twist Brush Mascara. I talked about this and used it for the first time in my By Terry Starlight Rose Holiday Collection video. And in case you guys missed that, I used this mascara and I actually enjoy it a lot. This is not a new product, but this is By Terry's newest mascara product, and it probably came out like last year at this point. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and use it today. I'm just gonna curl my eyelashes. And this brush normally sits like this, but then you can twist it if you want more volume. You can twist it, and so it has this like twisty helical brush design, and that apparently gives you more volume, and then the regular brush gives you a little bit more like separating and lengthening, and that's what I happen to like. So that's what I'm going to use, is that number 1 setting. All right, so there are my eyes, all done. Let's move on to lips. So like I mentioned in the beginning, I have these 2 new colors from Chanel, the Intense Cherry and the Intense Blueberry. And I think I liked, well, I like them both actually. I don't know what I was gonna say. I like them both a lot. So which one should we try? I feel like this looks a little like too, with the green eyeshadow. Let's go with the darker one. So this one is the Intense Cherry. If you guys are not familiar with this product, I don't know how you couldn't be at this point, especially if you watch my channel, but this is the longest lasting liquid lipstick that is the most comfortable I have ever experienced. I even did a whole greasy food mukbang with this on. I ate like a really disgusting pizza from Pizza Hut. And it stayed on throughout the entire mukbang, the entire like 1 hour of eating. So I love this product. And they came out with these new colors and I was really excited. I don't know what it is about this applicator, but it makes my lips so ticklish. Woo! Okay, once you get the pigment on, you have to let it set and it's gonna start to feel kind of uncomfortably sticky. Okay, it is uncomfortably sticky on my lips, so I'm going to go in with the clear gloss side. And this side has like a brush applicator. So there is the Intense Cherry on my lip. And the last thing I want to do is use the Absolute Powder in Absolute Pearl. What? Forgot. No, Pearl is what I used. Absolute Pesh. This is the one that doesn't look as peach as the Pearl, but this is the one that has a little bit of shimmer to it that I think would be a great finishing powder. So that's what we're going to do today. Yeah, this has, sorry, it's on my middle finger, but this is the powder. It has a really pretty sheen. So I am going to use my Sonia G Face One brush, my trusty finishing brush. Press this on and buff it in. Wow, that has a lot of sheen. That has a lot of sparkle there. I'm not sure that I like that as a finishing powder. It's almost too much. I think this is actually a nicer kind of like subtle highlight. Wow. Can you guys see that? I'm gonna tilt my head. See if you guys can see that. But it's like, it almost looks like foiled. I see a few like micro glitters in there too. If like a sheen is not what you want from your finishing powder, this is not for you for sure. If you like a really kind of foiled sheen to your skin, this could be the one. This might be nice for like a holiday party kind of look. I definitely don't think this is for me on the everyday. I'll probably use this now as like a subtle highlight. So this is the Absolute Pesh, just FYI. If you want a really subtle highlight, I think this would be nice. It's not even that subtle. If you want a highlight, this could be a nice one. If you're really into a bright finishing powder, it's right here. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.